Hey friends, welcome back to my video and welcome again to our sequence card sets that I'm creating this month. I had purchased a sequence container a few months back. I scored it at Goodwill and I wanted to kind of see how it will fare with the process that I usually do when I'm creating. So I decided to make some sequins themed cards here, and this will be card number 5. And again, I'm using kind of that idea of using the positive side of an item and then the negative spot. So in this particular card set, I think I created three, maybe no, yeah, it's three shaker cards, because when you think about sequence, it's the first thing that popped into your head. And I'm also using my scraps of pieces of paper. Now this card base is kind of an ombre card base. I got this one, when you purchase some card sets that are like 80 in a pack at Michael's, that's where it came from. And I don't really like the ombre look. I feel like it's hard for me to work with it. So I'm covering up that part where you only see one specific color. And because I sort my scraps by color, it was easy for me to pull out some pattern paper that would match with that purple hue. This one, I'm going to start off with the sequence because it's very easy. I just grabbed the negative spot or negative part of that hugs paper cut and then put some transparency tape in the back, and I am pulling out some foam strips that I had cut out, and then I'm going to add that to the top of the card. Now, one thing that I did notice, because I do not usually have any nails, so it's hard for me to peel off the backing of the foam adhesives, I will use this pokey tool and kind of, hold down the foam and then pull that really thin paper over, and it makes it just faster. So that's what I will be doing from here on out, if you see me do that for the rest of the card sets. So again, I'm just going to put that in there. Now, if I have like words that have thicker paper in between those letters, I probably would put some foam adhesive in between as well, so I can contain the sequins in each of the letters. But I just don't have patience to do really, really tiny adhesives on that. So I'm just deciding to just have that whole hugs, including the in-between spaces, open. Now, this is the other card. It's very similar. It's the same design as the first one, but this one I'm going to move the pattern paper a little bit more to the right so that I will have room to the left to actually put my word all the way going vertical down the card. And it just so happens that the letter, sorry, just fits perfectly on the card like so, and I'm going to keep it like that. And then to add, of course, because we have to add sequins to this, I'm going to add some sequins to just create a border. So that is a very easy way to add sequins to your cards if you don't want to do a shaker card, or don't want to cover up a letter or a number. You can always just create a border with your sequins. And I'm just finishing up. I'm trying to make it as straight as I can. As you can see, it's not quite there. And I'm also making sure that the spacing is just right, because it's kind of weird if you have a spacing that is not quite straight, especially if you're trying to do the vertical. Again, another part, I've said this before many times, but one of my favorite parts of the container that I had purchased was because it's clear, and I have organized my sequins sort of by color. Some of them were not, just because they were already mixed in the set that I pulled it out from. So, but this time, as you can see, it was very easy for me to pull out just the purple shades, and I'm putting them just as a line in on the card. Again, I'm using some Tombow liquid glue. That's my liquid glue right now, and I really like it. The only thing was I was trying to put very minimal liquid glue there because I didn't want it to seep through the sequins, because the sequins do have a hole in the center. But some of them, I guess I didn't put enough, and so when it dried, some of them were falling off. But it's okay. It's a very easy way to fix. This card took me less, maybe like 5 minutes or so, and I have a card done, and they match with the other one. So now we're going to go on to card number, we're now on 7, right? Now this one is again very similar to the one that we just created, but instead of just having one border, I'm actually going to create a frame for this card. And again, I'm using some scrap pieces of paper here. I'm starting off with a red card base, and then I'm going to use this diagonal pattern paper, or not diagonal, but checkered pattern paper here. It's mostly kind of a spring themed paper, but I'm going to use that. And then I have this cut apart piece that has birthday accents, and so I'm going to use that as well. And I am also going to use the edges of this 3x4 cut apart as the guide to create my sequence frame. So again, this is a fairly easy card. Now, one of the things that I was considering doing with this particular card was to maybe raise up that hooray and make that raised. But then I decided to not do that. I wanted this card to be flat. Again, I was considering if I had that 3x4 raised, would that be hard for me to create the frame, and would the sequence be more susceptible to being peeled off or accidentally pulled off during my process, or like, transferring, storing it or mailing it. So I just decided to make it flat. And then initially I thought, well, maybe I can make it colored, like a pattern of different colored sequence for the frame. But I decided to just go with the silver because I feel like that pink has a lot of color in it. It does have like little dots here and there because it make it kind of resemble some confetti. And then also the checkered paper on the back is pretty colorful too. So I decided to go with the silver one. But I don't know, let me know in the description box below. Do you think I should have done kind of a pattern of different colors on there, or this one was enough? So to finish this card off, I am just going to add some glimmer shimmer pan to the zebra just to kind of have a little bit of a shine because it is a celebratory type of card. And then I'm going to clean this up. Now, one of the things too that I like about the storage system that I am using is it's easy to clean up because all you have to do is gather your sequins and then put it back in the bag. In the container. When I had them in plastic bags, it was kind of a little bit of a pain because sometimes the bag doesn't, it doesn't have a wide opening, so you have to force it to have a wide opening. And I only have 2 hands, so sometimes that's kind of hard. So I like the clear plastic container. Okay, so I think this is going to be my last card for this particular video. With this one, what I'm doing is I am just creating a card, and then I'm going to have the sequence as a banner on the top. As you can see, there's some open space there on the paper itself, and I'm going to put that, use that space to create my sequence banner. One thing that I did notice though, that because the holes in the sequence are fairly small, you have to have a really, really skinny thread for that. Thread will be good, like, the thread that we use for sewing. But I found this floss. I think they use this for like book binding, if I'm not mistaken, but I've had this for a long, long time. I purchased it a while back. Etsy, I believe. But anyways, it was just a perfect, was it perfect diameter, or just a perfect size for the holes of my sequins. And I specifically used sequins that are a little bit larger than your normal sequins. I think these ones are like Teresa Collins, if I'm not mistaken. But I decided to use that because it's going to be the accent of it. It's going to be the banner. So if it's too tiny, I don't know if it's going to make an impact or the impact that I wanted it to have. And so I'm going to use some larger ones. And also, I rarely use these larger ones with, like, when I do my shaker card sets, and so this was the perfect card to use up these particular sized sequins. And so I'm just going to do 2 layers of this. I was kind of contemplating how I'm going to be able to do the 2 lines. I was thinking maybe I can wrap it around, but with the sequence already there, I figured that it'll be just easier for me to just cut them up and then adhere each of the strips or the strings onto the back of the block rather than wrapping it all around. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just finishing it off. I have a couple more parts to do or a couple more sequins to thread, and then I'm going to wrap that up. And I'm trying to kind of make sure that I have a good variety of colors, and that because I'm laying it on top of another, that one color, like say if it's red on the edge of that bottom, I can't put a red on the edge, on the left edge as well, because then I don't know, it just doesn't look mixed to me. So I'm just going to use my washi tape over here and adhere the ends of that to the back side. And as you can see, I didn't adhere the sequence, so it's flopping a little bit. Now, if you don't like that, you can always put a little bit of glue to hold them down. But I like how that makes this card a little bit more interactive, because then it can be moved a little bit more than, then it's just kind of stagnant there or just sticking there. And then I'm using a white card base because I felt that that's the best one for this. And I did find a little piece of a piece of scrap paper that is kind of a rainbow look, and so I'm going to add that to the bottom just because I have a space there. And I am going to add some scallop border on one side of it so that it will incorporate the circles that I'm putting on the top of this card with the sequins. And that is my card for today. I hope that you like it. Again, this is video number 2 of my sequence card set. I am creating 10 cards with sequins in mind. I hope that you guys have gotten some ideas on how to use sequins here. If you have any questions, make sure to leave that in the description box below. If you like these videos, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. And if you have not seen the first video yet, I highly encourage you to do so. I will put that in the description box below if I remember. Anyways, I am finishing this card up with some heart sequins, and then of course I'm going to clean up all the sequins so I don't lose them all. But that is my card for today. I hope that you will watch the other video as we finish off all of these sequins cards. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in another video. Bye.